Today, the tables are turned, and I won't be the one asking the questions, but I will be one receiving the questions. And Cheeky Joe is going to interview me. So, for those who are wondering, but why are you being interviewed by Cheeky Joe? Well, actually, I interviewed her last week because her page existed for a year and she had, by the time, 11,000 followers.
Hello there. Hello, my
Hello.
Lady Lexy. How the tables are going to be turned tonight. Ooh, my turn to ask the questions, which normally it's you. So it's going to be me tonight. And I have a few questions already as well from certain fans. So on my page, like friends. So, but
yeah. I'm just going to say hello to all.
Yeah. Hello, hello, Zan. Nice to see you. My first interview, Zan. I'll be doing my very first. Hello, everybody. This is my first time, so if it's a bit, I'm quite a bit nervous actually because I've never done this. So it's normally the other way around, and this is my first time. So
yeah, normally when you're interviewed, you're the one who's nervous.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah. So my first question. Yeah, thank you, Zan. I will try my hardest.
You got this.
I will do my best. I will do my best. Well,
just be
Lady
yourself.
Lexy.
I advise, just be yourself.
My first question is to you. What inspired to name yourself Lady Lexy?
Oh, well, then we have to go back way back in the time that I started my account on Facebook. So
Yeah.
I had a nickname in high school, which was Lexia, and well, I didn't want to post my last name, so then it became Lady Lexia. And then by the time I started hanging out with friends from the US, they couldn't say my name. So at some point, because I used to have a different name, I got introduced with one name, which I'm no longer using, and then with Lady Lexi as well. So,
Yeah.
From one came another, and even when I was on the guest list, they would actually write down Lady Lexi. But officially, it got changed to Lexi 2018. I think I was what do you call it when there's a role at the end of a movie or a video clip and they list you
Credits.
on that
Credits.
list? Yeah,
Yeah.
so it just evolved into its own thing, and so I'm going to change it officially to Lexi actually because it's short for my second name, which is Alexandra. But since a lot of people didn't know Lex can be a boy, can be a girl, Lexi too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it made sense and it stuck.
No, I love it. I absolutely love the name. It really does suit you as well. You are a Lady Lexy. That really, I couldn't see you with a different name anymore. That is you, Lady Lexy. I couldn't see you with anything else. That is
Drum
like,
babe. That's what we said today.
Yeah,
Drum babe.
that different page there, but that really does go well with your. I must admit, it does go.
And thank you, Lilibeth.
Yeah. What inspired you to start all this, like helping out people, speak out, inclusion, all think what actually gave you the initiative to actually start building your confidence in doing these interviews like you do with people and start joining them other pages that gave you the inspiration? What made you join?
You do know that you're asking me about 10 questions at the same time, right?
Oh, am I? So I mean, terrible. Okay, what inspired you to start doing what you're doing now?
Well, I'll help you out here for a sec. So I know Zen is watching, and when did you start? September? When you did your own lives, or in October, in August? I don't know anymore. I think he started in September, and he did 3 lives a week. And And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. So I was there all the time and I was part of his panel. And at some point I was like, but I can do it too. So that's when I decided to have my own show. And, I quickly found out that I'm used to coaching people, but coaching and interviewing is basically the same. And
Yeah.
especially when new people came, and Evan Carmichael, when you were part of his Movement Makers group, he had a challenge for us, which was thank you, Sen, which was about do a collaboration with all other people. And the first thing I actually started doing was interviewing people. It came natural to me. As for this being right beside coaching and all that stuff, I don't know if you want to go there, but I can actually answer that one too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Please do.
okay, so um, I unofficially, I guess it started when I was still working in IT and I became a trainer. So the training I gave was more of it was about system and structure. But in order to
Mm.
implement it, you needed people to stand behind it and actually say like, oh yeah, I think that's good. And I see why it would be working. So I needed people to be inspired to use that system.
Yeah.
So I looked at all the examples, and back then that in the IT I was used to the guys in the sweaters, the one the who are now our generation, who
Yeah.
probably have retired by now, with the sweaters on and all that stuff. And that was back in the days when I was working for a lot of banks, and internet was still not very common back then. So if the network would drop, then no one could get money. No bank accounts would be filled. There would be no change in bank account. They wouldn't get their savings, all that stuff that wouldn't happen.
Mm.
They couldn't go to the cash register and pay for their money, all that stuff. So a lot could happen when everything went down. And that's what I reference to, and that's what the guys like, oh my god, we are so important. If we don't do it, then the whole of the Netherlands is going to be shut down, which in essence was true. so
Yeah.
and then, well, I try to twitch to tweak to twitch it a little bit, to tweak and change it a little bit. That's what I was looking for. And fast forward, I'd say at some point, well, then we go into a completely different direction. I don't know if you want me to go there, but at some point, I started doing fitness training,
Yeah.
and and there. Then we had all these schools, and for those who regularly go to a gym, they must have heard that there were lessons which were what the teacher came up with, what are we going to do, and then there was what we call les mills lessons. So those were fixed lessons, and they would give
Yeah.
them like 3 months, and then it would change. And I was like, so I talked to the lady from the new gym. There was a new brand in town, and I said to her, so are you giving, what are you teaching? And because I said so and explained what was going on, she said, you know what you need to do? You need to become a fitness instructor. You need to go. And in the Netherlands, this guy was very well known, to Karel Noten. Unfortunately, Karel Noten is a little guy with a bit of temper, uh, but he's good. He was a physical therapist mixed with someone who would like to teach. And
Yeah.
he knew everything about the human body and how it worked. But unfortunately, he got known for also getting pictures from little children on there in the news, which I can understand to a degree, because if you want to understand the whole body, then you need to be able to actually see what's below the skin. And all garments are just in the way. So his reputation went haywire, but he was a very good teacher. So I
Yeah.
went from there to massage therapist. All the way, I was still in IT. Then I became a no massage. Yeah, I did massage. I became a therapist, and in the last year of becoming a therapist, energetic therapist, um, people. Well, though I I really got this thing for talking to people, listening to them, asking them questions, and that's why I wanted to do more. So I started to do
Yeah.
coaching, then counseling, and then one thing led to another. Long question for sort of a short answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Terry, she's
cool.
asking me questions. So if you've got questions,
Yeah. Hi, Terry. Yeah, I'm doing the interviewing today. Woo, bit, woo, but
it's going to be for the podcast.
yes. But I mean, what you're doing is absolutely such an inspiration to other people. Like I watched your live the other night with Terry and the other two guys, and it was just so amazing. Like as you said, interviewing people, talking to people around the world in different like nations and cultures, and how what do you actually get out of that when that happens, when you've got people from different cultures wanting to join in and chat with you, and how does it make you feel?
Actually, not very different. I mean, I come from a mixed background, so I'm partially Asian and partially European, so Dutch and Indonesian. And I don't know what else is in there, French, Portuguese, you name it, and it's in there. Um, People even think I'm from India. So,
Really?
yeah, so I grew up um, with both cultures. And Peter is from Malaysia, and
Yeah.
he actually, so he was one of the guys I interviewed, and it is kind of cool because he knows what this means. So it's actually the other way around. So this is the
Yeah.
way it should be shown. Um, and that in itself is kind of cool. So it was normal for us to wear kimonos and eat either Japanese, Chinese, or Indonesian food. Use the chopsticks, all
Yeah.
that stuff. We actually, still to this day, I still cannot cut very well with a knife. That's just a little confession because I never got taught to use it. Everything was chopped up so you could use a spoon,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Um, but but having said so, um, I've been traveling a lot, starting I think 2014. Well, actually 1997 I think it already started, but 2014 I went on my own, and 2018 and onwards I did a lot
Mm.
more. One of the things I never have understood is why people look different at people with a different skin color. Now, of course, I've been bullied growing up because,
Yeah.
um, well, you can see it right now. I've got a 10, and Dutch people were, of course, they had your 10, your color eyes, and your original color hair, as in blonde.
What great.
So no. Original color, blonde. So I didn't fit in, which was kind of weird. Um, so I guess because of it, I always thought about it, and my conclusion was it must have to do with culture, because are certain cultures here, people from certain countries. You perceive me as the one who is not wearing a scarf because I've got the black hair, of course, and dark eyes, so they think I'm one of them, which I'm not, because for those who don't know, I'm deconverted. I'm not religious, but especially being the one I am, I won't accept that a woman is only worth half as much as men. So They would look at me and it would be, hi, hi, hello. They would sit next to me on my bike and hold me. And I was like, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
all those things, they sort of influenced me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I answered your question, but
No. Yeah, no, it's really good. It's quite interesting to hear, especially about your own background and being brought up and being like as though you're somebody different, which you're not, and it is hard for people because so many people go through that through their lives, and it is pretty sad that it happens, and it shouldn't, because we're all human beings at the end of the day. Doesn't matter what skin color you are, what you look like, or we're all beautiful people. We've all got that special something about us. Everybody has got something special about them. It doesn't matter. It could be their eyes, their mouth, but anything, the heart, the inside, and and unfortunately, a lot of people don't see that in people. They just look at them and and take them the wrong way, and it's just so unfair. But yeah. Next question: where do you see yourself in the future?
in Florida, I always said
I
I
know
want
you
to
do
live in
want to move
Florida.
there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you do.
Well, it won't be here. That's for certain. I don't know why my yeah. Well, I do know why my parents chose this country because they lived in Indonesia for a long time when they got married. So my father moved from the Netherlands to Indonesia. Then they went to New Guinea, but both times they had to make the choice whether they would be a permanent resident of that country or part of the Netherlands, as in the Netherlands, as it was the Netherlands Kingdom.
Mm,
So my mom was Dutch, even though she lived in Indonesia. So, well, they had to make a choice, and then they said, "Well, let's go over here." So they started here. I don't know. I think they lived. They had a room in someone else's house. No money available, no nothing. So nowadays, when people get here, um, they immediately get offered a house if it's available, all that stuff. But that wasn't back
yeah,
then. Back then,
no.
it was like, you need to take care of yourself.
Very hard, yeah, very
But
hard.
this country, it's rain, it's gray. I mean, who wants to live here? Yeah, it's well, there are very good things about this. I mean, we get education, and there's a lot of freedom. And yes, of course, the government dictates a whole bunch of things, but it's not really dictatorship. It changes every
Mm,
4 years, and then they try to do as best as they can, and the healthcare system is good too. So those are the good things. But yeah,
yeah,
somewhere in the U.S.
somewhere in the US.
where
And
the sun is shining,
yeah,
where the sun is
where
shining
do you see your
24/7.
future with this that you're doing? What would you like to
Well,
see in the next
what
coming years?
I would like it to be is in my future, there are at least 5 parks all over the world, and those parks contain places where people can go to be coached. So
Yeah,
um, it's like sort of like a resort, at
mm,
you could say, where there's a studio. I would walk with them. I would record their answers on video, on camera, take pictures. Those defining moments when they realize, oh my God, this is it. That
yeah,
that's what I want to capture. I want musicians to be there. There are a lot of musicians in Florida. So I want them to be there, write a song about what they've experienced and what they want their future to be like. Also, um, and I want them to record that aha moment that they have over there and to remain focused on it. So they are going to get the DVD with that video on there of their song when they're surrounded by all these pictures, past,
mm,
present, and future, um, being being applauded by I don't know who's in the audience, a lot of people. That's the point.
yeah,
And then take it with them also with a meditation on there so they can actually listen to it and not straight away get back in day-to-day life as it used to be, but actually continue on with what they've learned.
mm,
um, so basically group coaching coaching non-stop. I love group coaching, coaching people, but I love it doing traveling. So, and I also would like to record more adventures on the road. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and of course I forget in the parks will be a place for children hospices. So the kids who won't
Yeah.
be there for a very long time anymore, so they can leave a legacy. They can record their stories, and there will be special support for the parents and the siblings and maybe close friends. So they will have a place where they can stay together, all of them, tiny houses, self-supporting, and
Yeah.
and when we talk about inclusion, I want to make sure that the young people who are in their 20s, those are the ones who usually, when they start studying and they have to do internships, that's when the problems start to arise. And that's, uh, I would like to have them, for them to have a safe place to
Yeah.
go to, not to be pressured, but be understood, so they can adjust to adult life. And well, just recently you said something about maybe a safe house for women and children, but I don't know if it wouldn't be too exposed for them to
Yeah.
stay.
That's to really be in hiding, doesn't it? But no, that sounds really, I mean, if that gets taken off, that would be amazing because it will give so much opportunities for certain people to be around families, like as you said, with the hospice, with their children, they could be with their loved ones towards the end and make videos and, and then obviously musicians, giving them a future, and things like that. And I think it's really amazing because that would really look amazing if you could get that done. That would just be
Yeah, and
one.
on short term, that's also a dream, and I keep forgetting it because it's
Mm,
summertime. I would like people to come over from outside Europe to to Europe actually. So I would pick them up on the various airports around the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, all that stuff, with a coach.
yeah,
Get another coach there, and then I'm going to coach them on the coach while taking them on a trip through Europe,
yeah.
including the UK, where they can experience Christmas and New Year,
Oh,
but in a different way. And if
yeah,
it's going to be a couple, that's going to be interesting because they are going to get different assignments. And the advantage of a coach, basically tour bus, is they have like 5 tables with 4 seats
yeah,
each, and they can sleep in bunk beds. So we can drive during the night. Then when they wake up, we can have breakfast somewhere, and then
yeah,
new place, new location, new day, and
yeah,
there are so many Christmas markets, and I know that a lot of, especially American people, they are a little frightened to travel in the European countries. So
mm,
I'll say, okay, I'll accompany you, and of
yeah,
course, I want to do it with someone else. That would
yeah,
be cool if I could have that done this winter. That would be really
yeah.
really
That would
amazing.
be amazing. Yeah, sounds absolutely amazing. No, good luck. And I hope it does work come true because it sounds so good that what
It
you
would be
want to
nice to
do.
do it with you.
Yeah, and I'll be
Gives you
joining
something to
you.
do.
Yeah, I'll be joining you too. That's definitely for that, especially traveling and things like that. It'd be amazing, to see all different things and cultures and places. Do you know what I mean? Meeting new people, and it would just be
I
like
love it.
fantastic. It's just a dream, isn't it? It's something, that I would really love to do. So I'm definitely in with you to do that. So that's one thing. Um, your free time, you like to play the drums.
Oh, really?
Why
Did
do
the
you
little birdie tell you?
why do you enjoy the drums so much? What inspired you to play drums? Or who inspired you?
You have heard the answer before. I can tell. Um, according to my mom, I always wanted to play drums, and what I remember is I wasn't allowed to play drums. So,
Oh,
but I remember, um,
sorry.
I was a metalhead growing up, and
Yeah,
Kiss was a big part of it. And then, of course, we got satellite television, and then we got the glam and the hair metal bands too. And I remember looking at the cover of Creatures of the Night, an album from Kiss, and I listened to it, and it was dunk, 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 dunk. And it was like, whoa, this is amazing. Well, the amazing guy was Eric Carr, the Fox. He doesn't live anymore. He died in 91, November, um, due to heart cancer, but he did inspire me to want to play drums. So I remember when I started working, I actually bought bongos. And
yeah,
when it was middle of the night and I would be working late, I would actually play on those in a big building with a lot of acoustics. So they would know where I was straight away. But at some point, um, my physical therapist told me to go play drums because I had problems with my wrists. I had
yeah.
repetitive strain injury, and they said it would be good for you to start playing drums. So I started with 5 minutes a day. In the beginning, my neighbors loved me, and then they didn't anymore because there was only like straw between the. So for us it's normal. In the Netherlands we not only have houses which are like one floor or a couple of floors, we also have houses, apartments which are like on the same floor, and then there's a floor above and there's a floor above. So that's
Mm.
what happened where I was living. It wasn't concrete, it was all wooden, so people could actually hear me. And then my dad said, you know what, I'm going to help you out. So he rearranged this room for me, and he put all this isolation on the wall and boards, and I got
Yeah.
an electronic drum kit, and that's uh, well how I continued on.
Mm.
So, and it's just kind of cool because it's totally different from a melodic instrument, and I was always tapping and all that stuff, so it made sense.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. No, it's like, and obviously Eric Carr being your idol and
Hmm.
obviously
Well, you've
inspired
seen
you
me with
from
the makeup
Kiss.
on from the Fox.
Yeah, yeah. When you went to the Kiss concert and which was absolutely amazing. The photos were brilliant and obviously the way you had your face, it was just really, really so cool. It was like, oh my God, like the way she done your face up, it was just
Yeah,
amazing. And you look
the
so
Dutch
much like
Fox
Eric
baby
Carr.
did it.
You look like Eric Carr. This is a funny thing. Them pictures you put, I was like, oh my God, you could be his daughter or something because you really look like him. It was like, oh wow, it's fascinating. But yeah, it's like, but I do have some questions actually.
Oh, more.
Where did I put them? Oh, I've got to find it where I put the paper now. See, now this is not very good, is it? Doing an interview and then you can't find the piece of paper that
Well,
they wrote.
people, this is live, so that's what
Oh,
happens.
right. Okay. Oh,
So,
there we go. Right. First question is from Anna. Are you still there, Anna? I hope you are, because I'm going to ask you a question that you wanted me to ask, lady.
there's always a bit of a
Lexie,
delay.
what do you?
Gail said that Jolus is taker.
Okay, Ems. Yes, I know. That's me. I'm terrible. I'm really bad. This is my first time, so I'm a bit like, oh, you know, give me some slack, please.
She's
Right.
nervous.
Anna says, what do you think that could help to recover the self-esteem after you've been scammed?
Well, there are a couple of answers to that one. First of all, what needs to be clear is that the one who made you believe that he was the real deal, of course, isn't the real deal. But this is, the hard thing, of course, is that once you are scammed, you lose trust in people. And the most important thing is that you earn that, no, not that you earn the trust back, that you get the trust back.
Mm.
And a lot of, when you're talking about being traumatized, and I believe this is a case of being traumatized, it's about figuring out how could this happen, especially in this case, because you
Mm.
don't want it to happen ever again.
No, that's
So
right.
you want you to write down for yourself, like, okay, so what happened? Um, what did I miss? How could I not see this? Also, you want to reach out to other people who have experienced the same. So it's not me. I'm not crazy. That's one really important thing too. But building trust again is the hard part. Starting to trust other
Mm.
people. So it's important
Yeah,
also for
that is
friends.
the issue. Yeah, it's learning to
Yeah,
trust again. Does
yeah.
give you a big part,
And of
very much
course,
so.
um, when you've saved up money and you want to spend it on a certain dream, and you've been scammed out of that money, that means that because you wanted to trade one dream for another one, and and then of course that one dream doesn't exist anymore because you realize, oh, I've been scammed, but you don't have the money for the other one anymore, and then you have to start all over again. And
Mm.
I want to say that is possible. Don't believe it's not possible. It's always possible to start over again. It might
Yeah,
take you a
that's
little
true.
bit more effort, but then again, you have more experience. You're a little bit older. So in that case, that should be easier. But reach out to other people, and please never think it's you. Those people are trained to, um, it's little words they use. And I've been trained in hypnotism, not the old style, but the new style as well. And you are doing really well. Did you see it?
Thank you,
So
Lynn.
it's the use of words and sounds. And one of the things, because people try to scam me too, and then it already starts with hi, and then I'm like, oh my god. And then, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, thank you. And,
Yeah,
and especially when they think you're a fan and this and that, and then
yeah.
first question comes, are you married? And I'm like, what's that to you? And then, do you have children? I'm
But
sorry. What's this conversation about?
yeah,
And then, yeah, I want you to feel safe. Yes, right, okay. Those words, whenever they come and they try to reassure you, it feels for me like they're that they put you in a box, like
mm.
this. And so for others that might work, but the moment I hear words like that, I'm immediately my radar is like new new new. Sorry for the
Yeah.
headphones. um, yeah, and that's those are the little things, of course, especially when they try to pretend to be American citizens and they don't speak very well English. Of course, for people who are native speakers, they recognize it instantly. But if you're not a native speaker, a native English speaker, then of course it's a little bit harder.
Mm.
So you know, to get that self-esteem back and that confidence, that's that's one of the more challenging things, but it can be done. It can be done. I mean, if you can recover from abuse and you can find someone who is trustworthy, then you can also recover from being scammed.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it is not done in one day, and it takes a lot of talking, and also using your heart, because your heart is your second brain. Actually,
Yeah,
they say it's the first brain and this one is the second.
yeah, definitely agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't know
yeah,
if Anna's watching still, but if she is,
yeah. I don't know. Are you still there, Anna? give us a wave if you're still there, if you listen to this. If not, you can rewatch it once it's loaded again. Well, this next question is from Little Ems. Grace hosted. She's my little daughter from another mother. She's my little sweetheart. She wants to know, what is your favourite season of Chicago PD?
Either 2 or 4. I have to say, I still haven't been able to watch season 9 fully. They just started and then they stopped again. So,
Oh,
good. Anna
Anna
loves
said,
the answer.
I love the answer. That's good.
Good. But yeah, both 2 and 4. And actually, I also really dig the Chicago Fire episodes right before the first season from Chicago PD, because then you got to see Floyd, and I remember looking at that guy, what, and then at some point you suddenly see where he's coming from, and but in season 2 so much happens with him, losing
Yeah.
people, being attacked, all that stuff. And of course, with season 4, when Aaron leaves, yeah,
He cracked.
those are 2 favorite seasons I love to watch again and again and again. It's
Yeah, I must say, the early seasons, the first 1 to like 5, 6 years, I think they were the best because there was so much action in them.
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's not just action.
Voight
It
was
was
Voight,
the
now he's a bit
surprise, of
more.
course, and then
Mm,
everything going on around Voight. Of course, now a lot is going on with the other um, cast members. Well, actually, not with cast members, but like um, um, there are a lot of other things still going on, and what I
yeah,
see is the constant. Everyone always seems to doubt Hank Floyd and has it in for him, which of course
yeah,
relates back to the way he was before. But I don't know. It's not that I don't like the current ones, but the older ones, emotionally wise, they were
yeah,
um, very intense. We need more soft Floyd. I want to see more protective Floyd. Yeah, I do
yeah.
too.
Protective Voight,
And quite
yeah,
honestly, those
definitely agree.
moments, and of course we've seen that with Haley too, where he actually, slaps on the table and, throws everything away. I mean, he has had those moments with Jay and Aaron, and of course Haley. Those are very intense moments. But
Mm.
yeah, I love his
He's
soft
just a
side as well.
protector, isn't he?
He's
He protects them like a father. He doesn't want them to go down the road that he's going down or he's been
yeah,
down. He wants them to be good police.
yeah.
He
And
doesn't
the
want them
chuckles
to
at
sort of
first,
beat on him.
yeah, exactly. And the chuckles at first with Aaron. I mean, that was so funny. And of course, they had to grow out of that relationship. Because she was like a daughter to him, and then of course she grew up,
She was growing up, yeah, and he didn't like it, yeah. Mm.
and that of course changes the whole relationship. So that was, yeah, but it was actually kind of nice to see it. But everything going on also with Nadia, and also going back and forth to the different to the different
Mm.
other One Chicago series, and
Yeah, SUV
yes,
and that,
that
yeah,
one.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
did I answer that question?
Yes, you did. And I've got one from my friend Pyramid 2012. Are you a Voight lover? If not, what other characters do you like? And what's your theory on Chicago PD?
What's my what on Chicago PD?
Theory.
My theory. As in what's going to happen?
What you think of, like, what your theory of what's going to happen? Like, what do you think's going
Okay.
to sort of.
Okay. Well, to answer the last one, of course, I still haven't watched all season 9. I know what has happened because I've seen little bits and pieces here and there, so it's not a really huge surprise.
Mm.
Um, I think that um, Jason, being Hank Voight, is a very important character, and there is so much, you know, people don't know what to believe, and he wants to do the right thing, and sometimes he does the wrong things for the right reasons. So there's this, this. Do you like him or do you dislike him? Do you like him? Do you hate him? And because of it, it makes an interesting story with what's going on, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hank Voight as in Jason Begay is absolutely my favorite character
Yeah.
because of all the roles he's playing, and also he's pretty determined. You know, this is the way it's going to go, and if he doesn't agree with you, then it's like, okay, get in here. Of course, gives Jay a little more leverage nowadays.
Yeah.
He said a
After the
couple of times that he expects Jay to be the one following in his footsteps.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, definitely Jason. He, the also what happens to him, but also he's a father figure in there. It's his family basically.
Mm. Oh yeah,
And
definitely, 100%. Mm. He's definitely a father figure to
yeah,
everyone.
so
No doubt.
Hank Voight. There's my
Hank Boss.
answer.
Cool. Okay, is there any other character that you like as well? Is there another favourite you got?
Does have to be um,
It can be
does have
anyone
to
from one
be
Chicago,
in
from
one.
any Med
Okay.
Fire.
Um. Oh, of course I don't see. I see his face in front of me. Kelly Seferite.
God, you had to say that. The
Oh,
pretty boy.
oh my God, he's
He's
good
too
looking.
much. He's too much of a pretty boy for me, and he's very he's such a womanizer. I mean, he's settled down more now compared to when he first started, but to me, he's very oh, I don't know how to put it really. Um, I like his character. Don't get me wrong, I really do like it, but he's too much of the oh, I am me, you know, and it's like I don't know. Yeah, no. Joe, do you not like? I do like Kelly.
Yeah,
Don't
she
tell
said
me
your
that.
face.
No, I do. I
You're
do
kidding.
like him, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's my favourite out of Fire.
Well,
Definitely not.
the things he went through, especially with his shoulder and all,
Mm.
um, those are life issues. Those are things you can
Oh
actually,
God, yeah, because it happened.
yeah,
Diction,
it
same as
happens.
Antonio,
And
weren't it?
of course, I also talk about addiction a lot and how it happens. And that whole storyline when he comes addicted to pain medication and why, and him being
Mm.
afraid to lose his job, I think that's so immensely realistic. Of course, that's credits to Dick Wolf and Derek Haas and all the writers. Um, but also the way he plays it that well, I really love that. And of course, he gets into a lot of trouble because of his choices with women. At least he did. So yeah, that's probably one of the things. And he does go above and beyond to save people. But there are so
Yeah.
many great characters in overall One Chicago, um, and there are so many storylines I just love. And well, I told you this, but of course, started watching Chicago Fire, then got to see Chicago PD. Like, okay, what's going on? Who's that guy? I need to check out Chicago PD.
Yeah.
But Chicago Fire, helped me through a very difficult time in my life when I lost one of my clients due to suicide. And
Yeah.
watching it and seeing like, yeah, but this is what can happen to people, and we are not responsible for the choices they make, and we are also not responsible if we're too late and we cannot save them in time.
Mm.
That made a big difference. Of course, all the things going on in Chicago PD, um, they are also, I mean, the human trafficking, the abuse, all that stuff. There's so much going on in there, which is so immensely interesting. And
Yeah.
then, of course, the
Stories
whole
so
privilege
amazing.
in med.
Yeah, and the stories are just amazing, aren't they?
Yeah,
I mean, it's so true to life as well, and that's what's. It's like obviously you've had experiences and you've seen it. I've had experience and seen it on Chicago PD and Med. And it does, and it sometimes it can help you sort of understand the situation more when things like happen, because you sort of look into it and it's like, oh my God, you know what? Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, that really happened. And it's like, because a lot of programs you think, oh yeah, no, it's so fictional, but they seem to tend to do such good storylines that they're so true. And it does happen. And that's what makes them so amazing as well. I think, as you said, it's the writers. The writers are just amazing. They got
yeah.
so
And then
many.
there are still people who are not aware of what's actually going on in the world because these stories are not made up. Well, they are made up, but they are based
But
on
a lot of them,
reality.
they're based on true stories, yeah, which actually real crimes and things like that. And yeah, it is. So yeah, that's a good answer to that question. And I want to ask you a question. What made you follow my page?
Jason. It started with because I wanted to know if Jason Begay was anything like Hank Voigt.
Mm,
So I started looking for pages and interviews, and well, you're stuck. I mean, you have all those little tidbits and facts on there, and of course, pretty quickly we also got to talk about things. But you always have those little clips, from movies and other
mm,
stuff. And I totally love it. And because of it, and because you refer to certain interviews and all that, reference certain interviews, I could look it up, and then that's basically how I found the word inclusion, which fit me to a T.
yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
yeah, um, yeah. Nowadays, I would probably give a different answer. I mean, because your edits are amazing. I mean, you have really great
Thank
work.
you.
But it's yeah. But and of course you still do the little clips in there. But the interviews, I really loved it. You know all that stuff. So that's
Yeah, they're
basically. I wanted to get to understand the guy, like,
great.
yeah,
Mm,
like who is he? Oh, and
yeah,
you answered that basically for me.
yeah. They're just amazing.
Hmm.
Well, I think it's been quite an interesting interview. So how did I do?
Yeah,
Can you give me a score? Did I do well?
you did very well. Just look at that smile on your face. And I noticed that you actually started talking about certain things too, and that's so good. So it triggers
Mm,
something in there too. So I've got a question for you.
okay.
What made you decide to go live with me?
Um, I think what for tonight or
No,
first time?
no, the first time.
First time. Um, I think the first. I mean, I was really nervous because we're very doubtful whether to or not, and obviously talking to you and everything because obviously I never sort of really spoke to anybody. I never used to let people know about my issues that I had from when I was young and all the way through my life. And I sort of never sort of spoke about it. And obviously, because of the person you are, where you can talk to people, and you knew you knew there was something there, because when you started talking to me, you could see it straight away, and they say you sort of did it in a way where it wasn't straight at, right, what's going on? Come on, tell me your part. You did it in a way where it sort of helped me bring it out to you, to talk to you about certain things. And then obviously the more I started trusting in you, and then when you asked me to do the first interview, I was like, oh my God. And I remember being nervous all day and thinking, oh my God, am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? And I was like, do you know what? Maybe it'd do my confidence good. It might build me up a bit more, and then I went for it. And I'm glad I did, because it helped me so much. Because I would never, if someone a year ago said to me, yeah, you'll be doing lives on channels and you'll be talking, and I'll be like, no way in hell, mate. You would never get me doing anything like that. Never. And now look, I'm interviewing you.
Yeah.
And it's
So what
like,
was the
no.
most interesting question for you, or what did you like the most about the whole interview?
I like the question about what you want to do in your future. I thought that was really amazing, because you're putting other people before you. You want to give people a start in life, to help people in life, thinking of these families that can be with their loved ones that are sick, and giving them that time special, because that's a big, huge thing to think about, to even and to try and achieve it. That would be amazing, because it's your passion. It's something that you really, really want to do. And I think if you carry on the way you're going, I can see it happening, because you are very determined. And that's what I love
Yeah.
about you. You're very determined. You won't give in, and you will keep fighting and fighting. You don't give in. And that's what makes
Yeah.
you such a good leader.
Yeah, I had to learn to fight for everything I wanted.
Yeah.
So you didn't ask that question, but now we're talking about it. I'm going to make it a
Yeah.
question.
I was so I'm thinking, oh, what questions? It's like, because it's my first time, I was like, oh God, what do I ask? What do I was
Oh,
trying to
you
think
just
up
let it
things.
happen. You just let it happen. You listen, and then you continue on. But yeah, you saying I was fighting. I literally had to fight for everything from, well, I would almost say from the day I was born, but that's probably a little exaggerated. Um, oh,
Oh,
that's
thank
cool.
you,
And I would
Ems.
love to
Bye,
know what's
bless you.
been the most inspiring. So if you could
We'll have to
answer
get
that.
you on here and do a live with you, and get you to ask you some questions. Lexie, get you in and interview you.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah,
But
it's nice that.
yeah, I literally, you know, people of course didn't accept me at first. Um, and apparently, when I was 9 years old, I was in the hospital for a month. And from what I can recollect now, and of course we don't have really memories because that's the age. But
Mm,
um, I was alone over there, and it was white, and it was sterile, and I came from an environment where uh, with a lot of noise. I mean, I had older brother, older sister. My mom was playing the piano. It was all colorful in the house, Indonesian, right? So, um, so I didn't want to eat anymore. And
mm,
so all the way and growing up, it was literally I had to fight. So my father put us on jiu-jitsu to learn how to defend ourselves. My mother was very careful, my mom. Well, I don't actually know who was more protective, my dad or my mom, depended on which topic we were talking about. Um, so if I wanted something, I had to earn the money myself. Like for instance, I had these big glasses, which are now in style
a fashion.
nowadays.
Yeah, in
I
style.
hate
Back
them.
then they wasn't. No, because I wore glasses too. So you've seen
Yeah,
pictures
yeah,
of
yeah,
me when I
yeah.
was like,
You'll never
yeah.
see me with those big glasses on anymore. Those frames. Yeah. Okay. I have a trauma, related to that one. Trauma, not like you, of course. But yeah, so a lot of people ask me, when are you going to start wearing contacts? And I said, well, my mom wouldn't let me. So at some point, I decided to go earn my own money and get my contacts. And the same when playing guitar. Of course, being inspired by Kiss, I was also inspired by the Spaceman, Ace Frehley. So I wanted to play the guitar,
Mm.
which I started doing at some point. But so I started with an acoustic one, and then the guitar teacher said, you know what? You're going to buy a semi-acoustic one. So it's not one, it's not another. And then I was like, hey, I can put my cables in the stereo of my brother. And then I said, well, Mom, I can do it, but it's not really good for his stereo, so I need my own.
Yeah.
That's how I got my own. What do you call it again? Um, the thing that you know. Um,
Subwoofer. No. Oh,
yeah, I wanted to say
yeah.
subwoofer, but that's not the right one.
Subwoofer. No. No. It's not subwoofer.
Well, anyway, I
Subwoofer's
got
big,
my own
big.
equipment. I got my electric guitar and all that stuff, and until, of course, well, not of course, until all my fingers literally bled and it didn't stop bleeding anymore, which was the beginning of 2000, and then I couldn't play anymore.
Mm.
And by that time, I already had switched to the drum kit anyway. So.
Yeah. Yes, the old drums. You're very good at drums, I must say.
Ah.
So, the old Eric Carr in there.
It was so funny, and it wasn't even. So what Joe is referring to, for those who don't know, and I'm going to post this later on Instagram too, is I was playing drums. So I haven't been able to play drums for the last 8 years almost, and last year it's a little bit on and off, and I um, I was never allowed to play double bass drum. Yes, I was a metalhead, and Hans Kleuver, the one from Focus, he's no longer alive. He said, "No, you're not going to learn double bass drum." So when I was at Tom Jones's concert recently, and I saw the drummer over there, it was like, oh, but I understand him, because all those different styles I can play, because that's what I got taught. Of course, I'm not. I need to get into the fight again, to regain speed, but also be steady, all that stuff. But I can switch pretty easily between the different styles. Um, so why did I say this? Oh yeah. So I was playing drums, was doing my exercises on the snare, bass drum, and it's a brain hack basically. What's
Mm.
going on, and that's probably why I like it, because I like the logic puzzles too. I'm very analytical, um, so getting that in the right order, that's always a bit of a challenge when it comes to drumming. It's People think that you play drums just to get your frustration out of there, and of course that's true to a degree, a little degree, but most of it
Yeah.
is actually getting your brains to understand, like, okay, what I'm doing
Understand.
with this
Yeah.
hand, I'm going to do it with this hand now I'm going to do it with this foot, and all those changes. The brain doesn't like changes; it needs to depth. So
Yeah, that's true.
actually, that's what makes it so much fun. So I was in the middle of just doing the bass drum just to get back to the normal routine. So sometimes,
Mm.
when you're doing difficult exercise, it's nice to have like a baseline. And for me, the baseline was double bass. And then I was back at that concert again, because both times I'd seen him in Belgium and in the Netherlands, and I think I saw it on the video too, where he was doing just a double bass drum. And to show that he was doing the double bass drum, there he had this towel, and he would, go and then throw it away. And I was like, oh, and I was all sweaty and all that stuff. And I was like, so I recorded this video, and there I am. And of course, at the first one, I didn't have the towel. And then I was like, no, this, like that one. And then, of course, it became a little bit more hilarious. And then I was like, you know what? I had my hair like this in the knot. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to let my hair down. It was my feet. So that's what you're referring to, of course.
Mm,
I do believe I played better at some point, and if I were to able to do it again every day, which I to a degree am, so yeah, I'm going to pick it up again. Um, yeah, I would love to be
yeah,
on stage one day.
cool.
You know,
Mm,
I
brilliant.
would
I'd love
like
to see you
to
on
kick
stage.
Tommy Lee from the kid and say, Tommy, you go play somewhere else. And now I'm going to play the drums for Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so cool. Or maybe do some gigs with Kiss. But what would be cool to, both concerts. I would also love to play bass on the piano one day. You know.
So cool. A lifelong dream of
Yeah,
yours.
the thing with drums is
I
you
guess
are
we all
sitting
have that.
alone.
Yeah, and I guess we all have that sort of dream that some we want to do and achieve, and
Yeah.
certain you want to do and things
Yeah,
like
and
that.
when I play like on a conga or whatever it is, when it's a solo instrument, I don't mind playing that because no one is depending on me. But when people are depending on me, when you're in a group setting, then it's a whole different story. Of course, nowadays you have these monitors in your ears and you have a rhythm click in your ear, so it makes all the difference. But
Yeah,
um,
I've never been into instruments. Never really sort of. Yet my kids are. You know what I
mhm.
mean? My son, he plays a drum, electric guitar, piano, like piano. My Ellen, she plays a piano and guitar. Me, no, never,
Yeah,
never
well,
been in.
my name in sign language is this, which stands for music.
Mm,
So I was raised to play music. My mom played 3 hours a day. I was 3 when I said I want to play the piano because everyone played piano, so I wanted to do it too. I was the youngest one in the house, so when I went to kindergarten, I already gave concerts with my mom. We're
yeah.
sitting next to one another.
It's mainly singing on my side of the family, singing
Yeah,
because
my
Ellen
sister can
sings, Taylor
sing
sings,
actually.
I sing,
Yeah, I know.
um, and my dad had like in the 1915s, 1920s, someone called the Tilly sisters, and they were related to my dad, and they were like on theatre stage singing
I
and things
think
like
I've
that.
heard about those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my dad's relations, yeah, they were
yeah.
singers, and obviously it runs in the family because it's come back, and my niece sings as well, so there's
Mhm.
quite a lot in my family,
Yeah. You know
and I'm
what I like
hoping to
about
put
singing?
Ellen on stage one day.
Yeah, and then you can
Still,
sing and I'll musician, the one who sings. Totally dig it. But the good thing about singing is, of course, you're also expressing yourself.
yeah,
It's not just about being able to sing certain notes. I think the problem is not so much whether you can have certain range, it's
mm,
whether you are capable and feel certain about sharing certain emotions.
yeah,
So, are
definitely,
you frightened to sing or not? If you're frightened, then it sounds like I
yeah,
don't know,
that's
like
right.
a young chicken.
Got courage, yeah. No, it's true. It's true though. It's so
Yeah.
true. But yeah, well, this has been a very interesting interview, I must say. I've really enjoyed doing this interview. It's
Oh,
quite
that's good. So,
chilling out.
people who are watching, do we want Joe to do more interviews, not just with me, but also with other people? And are there any other questions you would like me to answer? Because then you have to say, Joe, we want to
Yeah,
know this, that,
just
and the other.
write in the comments if there's any questions you would like me to ask, and if you think that I'm doing a good job. I hope I am. Really do.
I love having Joe as a co-host. For those who don't know, I love having her as a co-host.
We have so
And
much fun, don't we?
yeah, we have a lot of fun. And because we grew up around having almost a similar age, we know a lot of things are the same. We can relate to
Exactly.
those.
Thank you, Ems. Love you, baby. Thank you. I'm doing an amazing job. That's really made me happy. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, darling.
So what do you like better? Being interviewed or interviewing?
Who? Me?
Yeah. What do
Oh,
you
sorry.
like better?
I I enjoy both of it. I mean, obviously this is the first time, so it's obviously it's interviewing you. I love you too, darling. Um, I I don't know what it'd be like interviewing somebody else, so I'd have to sort of try that, someone totally different, like probably Terry. I could probably try and interview Terry one time if he's up.
Terry.
I don't know if
Terry
he's on it. I
Thompson,
don't.
if you're there.
Yeah, I don't think he's here still. But if he was, I'd love to sort of like have you there as well and interview him to try and sort of because it's someone different. Obviously I've really enjoyed interviewing you. It's been really good, and obviously I need to sort of learn like what sort of questions to ask. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, because this was just like literally thrown, and it was like, oh my god, what do I say? What questions do
Well,
I
I'll,
ask?
t- I'll tell you a little secret. I When I go live with people and sort of do the interviews, I just let it happen.
Mm,
I just let it
yeah,
develop. And of course, I know you very well, but when I did the interview, I also asked questions where I knew the answer to, but which I deemed very important
mm,
for the whole topic. And of course, we had a very specific topic, which was you um, were doing your page 1 year. And
yeah,
of course, a lot had happened really prior to that whole stuff. So there were so many things I could talk about when it came to you. And
yeah,
by the way, for the people who want to watch it, it's you can either check out my IG, not stories, what do we call it? Not reels, not stories, well, the lives probably. And
yeah.
that's
The
also
live
on
real
YouTube. So if you find
YouTube as
Lady
well.
Lexy
Yeah,
stand up,
catch all your videos on
so
YouTube and stuff. Yeah,
So I'm going to share a little something that Joe and I are thinking about. We are thinking about doing a podcast together.
yeah.
So, peeps, people out there, what do you think?
Podcast.
Mm,
How cool would that be?
yeah,
I think it'd do quite well, to be fair.
yeah, yeah.
Podcast.
And it would be nice to be
To
traveling
try and
together
get
and
some famous people as well to sing. And
yeah,
hopefully, if we do go to Chicago, we can do some podcasts out there
mm,
with different people.
yeah. Think about it. Oh, cool, you would listen. Awesome. I am curious by nature. I think that's why I like to know what's going on with people. I
Mm,
look at them and I can pretty much sense what's going on.
yeah.
I've learned to read faces. I probably
Mm.
it's also the energy and what's going on.
It's like
And I know,
you always know if I'm like down or anything. You're like, come on, I know you are. I can see it in your eyes.
lack of energy, you being quiet, and having been the odd one out and having been bullied a lot and also being depressed growing up. As a result, I know what it's like to be lonely. And
Mm,
who wants to be lonely?
no, I see you don't.
No.
There's so
So
many
if I
people
can,
and like little M's. I've been speaking to her for quite a while now, and she's 18 now, and she's got a lot of issues to deal with and stuff, so we sit and chat a lot, don't we, babe? She's going through quite a lot with her mum and things, and it's just nice to be able to sit there and listen to her, and you know and give us some advice and stuff, you know, because obviously where I've been having all these with you, I've been learning to sort of give advice as well. So it's nice to be able to do that as well, you know,
Hmm.
instead of just being on me all the time, someone giving me advice. It was nice that I can actually give some advice as well. I'm learning bit by bit, you know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
nice to
good.
be there.
So, okay, Anna says, great life. I took my medicine to sleep. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good night rest. Thank you so much, Anna,
Thank you for
being,
listening, Anna. Love
being.
you. Speak to you later. Mwah.
And that's amazing that Joe helps you more than she really thinks. Well, if you have questions, you can always hit me up. And I don't know if
Yeah,
you feel comfortable going live. A lot of people say they're nervous going live the first time, but I always help them manage. You can ask
yeah,
Joe, basically. So
yeah. I mean, I never
it's
ever thought I'd ever tell my life experiences live on stream. Never ever in a million years. Didn't ever think that I would ever do that.
yeah.
And it
And
does
if you
help
have certain things you want to talk about, then of course, um, just post it. Send it to Joe. Send it to me. On Wednesday, Joe and I always go live. We go live a little earlier than this. We do it on
on
StreamYard, so
YouTube.
it's on
Yeah,
YouTube. Um, and if you want to, you can always be a guest on the show. You can also leave comments. So if you look me up, Lady Lexy picks up on Facebook or YouTube, you instantly recognize me. Um, then we can talk about it because we've been through a lot of things. Both of us have, and I know what it is like to be growing up, and it's still like, okay, but what's going to happen? I mean, especially when you're 18 years old, you're at the start of your life. So,
yeah.
and
She's
it's basically the
actually
best time ever because you're discovering everything, and
mm,
it's going, from yes, from no responsibility to yes, being responsible, having to make choices. What are
and
you
not
going to
having,
do?
and not having the support, which is what she needs. She
Yeah.
doesn't have the support from family, and that's really tragic, you know, because I couldn't imagine my kids never having the support of me, or you know, because they're my life, and you know, and I just couldn't imagine doing that. And that's why I talk to her a lot, and that's why I call her, she calls me mummy, and I call her daughter from another mother. Because what's it, it's like,
Well, then
you
I'll
know,
probably become auntie at some point.
yeah, you know, and it's just nice to be able to talk, you know, because whenever she's got issues or anything, she's always straight on to me. She always lets me know what's going on, and you know, if she's really down and
Yeah,
things
we
like that.
can
She's
talk
always
about certain
really,
topics which might be, on your mind, little M, if I can
yeah,
call you like that. Um, you know, so
yeah,
and
definitely,
I do believe that other people will benefit too. And it's so important to have a good start in your life. And if you are lacking the support of your parents or your family, or I don't know how if you have any support at all except for Joe. Um,
oh, she's got a
you
couple
have
of really good friends that
Yeah,
she does
but you've
speak.
you've got choices to make, and that's of
Mm,
course, maybe one of the most important things. You've got choices to make, and it's nice if you can talk to people. And of course, we don't know how it's going to end up. I mean, I went to the Academy of Art. I was supposed to go to the Academy of Art when I was 18. It turned out that I did it when I was 19. Between 18 and 19, I worked in IT, and then I went to the Academy of Arts for a couple of years. Then I went back into IT again, and now I am being creative. So I wrote a book, and in that book are actually my own drawings. So they're kind of simplistic, but
yeah,
they do the job. So they
mm,
express what I wanted to express. And now with all the editing, and of course you and I have found one another when it comes to editing.
yeah, I love them.
That is of course kind of cool, and okay, what am I going to do? This, that, and the other, coming up with statements, and yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
definitely.
you're welcome. You're welcome to come on our show and
Yeah,
ask questions, and maybe we can come up with some things which can help you out. So
Yeah,
please join.
definitely. Yes. Well, I guess that's a wrap then.
Yeah,
And it's
it's a
been a
wrap.
very good night. I
Well,
hope you
thank
liked
you.
me interviewing you. I hope you enjoyed your interview.
I absolutely enjoyed it. I love talking about myself every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, when it's expected, I like it. When it's not expected, and of course, this is overall in general about my life, and it gets me to talk about certain passions, and that's what I love. I love to inspire people. Apparently, I am
I
a
will do.
storyteller.
Don't worry, I'll remind you.
Says Mommy Joe. So yeah, I like to inspire people, and I do know that people like listening to my stories. That's one thing I really learned during the traveling. Um, so people always think that I've got a travel blog, which is kind of funny. But there's truth to it because I love to document when I'm traveling and capturing all the differences.
Yeah, it's
So
nice.
okay, you are getting tired. I can tell it.
Yep, it's getting late now.
Yeah, I'm waking
That's
up.
worn me out, that has. All that talking. No, it's been good. I really
Shall I
enjoyed
tell
it.
you
I
a
really
little
enjoyed
secret, ladies and gents? When she hears my voice, she starts to fall
actually falling
asleep.
asleep. When I don't sleep, talk to me. I know, it's
I
mad, isn't
think,
it?
yeah, I think that's happening too. Okay, let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to turn this into the first podcast, and
yeah,
then your interview will be the second one.
yeah. Well, thank you for letting me do the interview. I really enjoyed it. It's something different. I was quite nervous early. I'm thinking, oh my God, how's it going to go? Am I going to do okay? But I really, really enjoyed it. So it's
Yeah,
really good
see?
fun. Yeah, really good fun. I loved it. If you do get to watch this again, I would love to do an interview. I'd love to interview you. I don't know why. I just really would love to interview because he's such an interesting person, and I'd like to know more about him. So
Very
if you're
smart,
up for
very
it, Terry,
intelligent, very
let
witty.
let her know, and I'll definitely be up for interviewing you one day. That'd be great. And thank you to everybody that came in, joined, those that inboxed me questions and that have watched the live. Thank you so much, especially to Anna and my little MMs. Thank you so much. And thank you for Terry popping on and Zan. It was lovely to hear from Zan again. I've not spoken to him for ages.